honestly, never been to an event like this before where we take so much action. I've been in real estate for 20 years now. Okay, this year, 20 years. I've never seen anything close to it. If I could have came to this event one time in that 20 years, it could have jump-started the whole process, right? One, everything that we've talked about and learned so far, just the people that you're networking with. I talked to multiple people today that are like, I even network with more people today than I did at Squad Up Summit, okay? I think that's incredible. And I think it's partially because we're all in this room, right? We're all so close to each other, right? In fact, you're almost hitting elbows, which I think is actually very advantageous. So this has been a great event. I think we should all actually give a huge thanks to Sarati and Case's team for putting this together. Thank you guys. Okay, so we're going to go over, I'll tell you quickly about me, and I'm going to explain what turnkey co-living is. Okay, lots of people have been asking about it, and hopefully, as we go through this process, it's going to start clicking and make sense. Because whether you wanted to use turnkey co-living or not, it's not important. What's important is understanding the process, understanding your seat in the process, where you want to be sitting, how you can make money, and where you should go from here. Okay? So I've been doing it for 20 years. I went down the really slow path of doing it all by myself. So congratulations to all of you for being smarter than me at the beginning. Okay? For 15 years I did it all by myself. I fixed and flipped, did long-term rentals, did Airbnb, did a lot of different strategies. And all of a sudden I had one property that I was doing midterm rental on, and it just would not fill. Is there anybody here that has a midterm rental or has done it, and you couldn't find a tenant? It just wasn't coming fast enough. Maybe it was a location, whatever it is. And I thought, okay, how do I pivot? Right? We've been talking about what do you do when things go wrong? Well, you should pivot. So at that point, and this was in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? I own property in about 8 different states, so I learned very quickly how to invest out of state. Okay? I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. So at first, when I was investing, it was only in Phoenix, Arizona, but man, I was so grateful to learn how to invest out of state, so I could get the right pieces, the right processes, everything in line. So with this specific house in Atlanta, I go, okay, what could I do? What else can I do? And co-living, even though theoretically it's been around for a very long time, right? Boarding houses, all sorts of stuff. But it was really, several years ago, just really starting to pick up, right? Because Patrick came out in what, 2017, right? You guys realize that's 9 years ago. That's pretty crazy. A lot of people are learning about Patrick for the first time. But I'm like, okay, I think this could work. This house was 2,700 square feet. Large house. Surely you can get a lot of bedrooms in there. So we pivoted. I went and spent on renovation. In fact, I went with Pathwood for my very first co-living house. I said, wonderful, let's do Pathwood. I went to Pathwood's website because I didn't have a contractor in Atlanta to be able to know and guide me on co-living. Do you guys think that the renovations for co-living might be a little bit different? Yeah? Do you think you need to know, should I renovate this? Should I not renovate this? Is it different than a house flip? 100%. Right? And I do house flips in Phoenix. So I'm like, okay, I might be able to use the same contractors. This needs to be different. I need some guidance. I actually went to pathlet.com and I searched for their contractors, and I found one. Turns out that contractor had already done quite a few co-living renovations and was able to do management as well. I was like, hey, okay. And I thought, Kyle, you've been an idiot for 15 years. You learned to not do this by yourself anymore. So I said, let's do it. So I paid him, right? I'm in Phoenix, he's in Atlanta. I'm like, let's go. I did not give him all the money up front. Okay? But we went forward, and that's how I got my first passport. I still have that today. Okay? Turns out, so we have, I think, 9 bedrooms. So my very first plat split went for 9 bedrooms. Okay? And it's been an amazing experience. Tasha has been amazing as well. I thought, okay, I'm on to something. So, as I keep pushing through, I realize I need more. Does anybody else here want more? Okay. I think we're all here for co-living as well. Does anyone here want more co-living? Yes. Okay. Well, I wanted the same thing. So I'm like, okay, how do I get more? Okay, well, I already was using private money for my fix and flips. So I'm like, okay, I can build those relationships up. Okay? Because we shouldn't have one or two private money lenders. You should have 10, 20, 30, 50 private money lenders. You should have at least 5 or 10 ready at any given time. Right? So you should never be telling people, my private money lender fell out and I need help stat. Right? You should only be reaching out to people that you've already had a conversation with private money and letting them know, like, hey, would you like to take advantage of this opportunity? Okay, so when you do co-living, there are basically 5 sections. There's 5 phases. I'll put it here at the top first. If you want a visual of this, you can go to turnkeycoliving.com. turnkeycoliving.com, and you will see a fancy visual of the 5 steps. Okay? Step 1. What do you guys think the first step is? I even just told you the website so you can choose. Okay. All right, acquisitions. Lots of people have a problem with acquisitions. Would everyone agree? If you ask yourself why you don't have a co-living right now, or why you're not buying the next co-living right now, there is a very high chance that this is your problem. Okay? Raise your hand if acquisitions is your problem right now on trying to get a co-living right now. Okay? Really big percentage. Okay? Why? Why do you think that that's the problem? Is acquisitions easy? What have we been doing here? Acquisitions. Okay? Let's break it down. What did you have to do first? You had to get a list. You did have to have a buy box. You have to know what you want. Let's assume we have the buy box because we know we're looking for co-living, right? Okay? If you want to know our buy box, just put a / here, buy box. Okay? Basically, it's anywhere past what exists. Okay? Anywhere past what exists, we will do our full cycle. Okay? So you have to go get a list. You guys now know how to do that if you didn't know how to do that before with deal sauce. Okay? B, what did you do next? You have to set a what? Set an appointment. Okay. Who here set an appointment for the first time? That's what I'm talking about. You just reached a new level. Of those people that set an appointment for the first time, was it easier or harder than you thought? Easier. Interesting. I heard a harder as well. Do you think it's easier? Never call it. Okay. Do you think it's easier or harder to set an appointment in this room? Easier. You're around other people. You're around other people that are excited. Okay? When you get around PACE or other members of Owners Club, is it easier or harder? It's easier. They're bringing energy because they know it's possible. And they're trying to get you excited because they know it works. What's going to happen when you go home? Is it going to get easier or harder? It's going to get harder. Let me commit you right now to making decisions on how you're going to make it easier for yourself. Make sure you get around a group of people. Heck, you can connect with somebody here in your area. If they're not in this room right now, reach out to them, set up a Zoom time where you guys all get in a Zoom together. Even better, go to each other's houses on a certain time every week, twice a week, and make calls. Okay? Be smart about it. Schedule things so you can be smart and actually make appointments. Okay, really quick, what happened after you set an appointment? You actually had the appointment, right? We had people going and door knocking, right? We had lots of people calling. I know my team, right? We have 6 or 7 more appointments already scheduled for tomorrow, right? We have several more later today. Who here, teams, are seeing appointments right in front of you? Okay? Isn't that incredible to be seeing those appointments live? Is that some of us are realizing right now that what's the average amount of touches it takes to take a lead to a deal? 13. The average is 13 touches. Well, you set an appointment, and then somebody called right after you. How many touches is that? That's only 2. So when deals happen very, very quickly, it's actually a pretty cool miracle. It's actually really, really awesome. That means that you have a really good list. The better the list, the less touches, right? It means you set the appointment center did a good job, and that you had a great appointment. Right? You also have the perfect timing, right? Okay, now, is there more that still keeps going? We could go on and on this, right? But we're not going to, okay? It's like, okay, you have the appointment, now there's lots of stuff. Can we see why people get stuck here in acquisitions? 100%. Even high-level people get stuck here all the time, okay? Because if you have to keep at it and keep pushing, pulling more lists, setting more appointments, checking your KPIs, because are you on your A game every single day? Pretty tough. Pace is the best example of someone that shows up on their A game, right? Every single day. I love that about him, and I think that motivates me to just be better every single day. That fact alone, to me, is worth joining some team. That fact alone, bar none. I wake up more motivated every single day because of that man. So, here we have step 1, acquisitions. You can either do all this yourself, every single one of these steps. This is just step 1, right? You can either do every single one of these 5 steps. This is just step 1 yourself. It's definitely possible. Trust me, for 15 years I did it by myself. It's all possible. Each and every one of you could do all of this all by yourself. But you need to ask yourself on each step, are you going to do it? Is that your seat? Or you can have somebody else do it. Okay? What are your options? If you don't want to do it, who here wants to do this over and over and over? Raise your hand if you love this part of the acquisition process. Okay? Love it. Okay, we have a couple hands. Okay? Who here would rather do something else? Okay, a little bit more. Okay? Now, what's cool is to show people what's possible. Do you guys think it's important sometimes to go and learn to do things at least to a certain level first so you can understand it, especially if you want to be a true business owner? Do you have to really know it that much though? Right? What example does Paige use? He uses the dentist all the time. Example, right? Like, do you really have to know how to go extract a tooth to go get your tooth extracted? No, but you might want to know a little bit so you go like, I'm not going to that dentist. I'm going to go to this one. Okay? That's where you need to know a little bit, right? So that's what's been really cool about this. You have now learned a skill. Okay? You just have to decide, are you going to do it or not? So acquisitions is step 1. Okay? Let's put what's step 2? What's step 2 on that? Transaction coordination. Anybody else stubborn like me and is kind of a dummy a lot and has done their own transaction coordination? Who here has done their own paperwork? Great, it's okay. Look, I said that. A little higher. Okay? It's okay. I've been doing real estate for 20 years. Guess what happened to me about 2 years ago? I got so busy on building my business that 3 deals that I bought in like a 2-month period, I used to pick different TCs to do different work. And I got so busy I forgot to pick a TC for 3 deals. Next thing I know, it's time to close. And I was like, okay. so I bought the houses. Okay? Now I knew there were good deals, right? Because I was the one doing all the work. The question was, did I do all the paperwork right? After doing so many deals, how many of you think I did the paperwork perfectly right? I mean, I'm a smart guy. I didn't do it right, did I? I didn't do it right. My TC right now is fixing some of those files. Okay? So, TC. Okay? Who here is a TC or wants to be a TC? Okay, yes. Exactly. Love doing the paperwork. I'm not going to be that person. I should not be this person, by the way. Okay? There we go. That's step 2. You need to know, should you be doing that piece or not? Okay? All right. Let's go to step 3. What is it? Insurance. Okay. When it comes to insurance, I think more of you know the answer to this. What type of insurance do we need to get? Do you think it's the exact same? Commercial is what I just heard, right? Now, there are some other policies. It does depend on how many bedrooms you have. Okay? What you can't do, don't do, is get a normal rental policy. It's not a normal rental. What's going to happen if you have a normal rental policy and you have a claim? They're going to deny your claim. Don't do it. Okay? There are companies that will do, I think it's like up to 5, maybe 6 bedrooms, that they will do pad split. You need to tell them, hey, we do pad split. Get the right insurance. Okay? If it goes bigger than that, you need to go commercial insurance. You tell them again exactly what you're doing. Okay? You're not trying to hide anything. Any questions on insurance? It's really pretty straightforward. When I underwrite it, what? Okay, when I underwrite, what do I figure for insurance? Great question. When I underwrite, we use a calculator. Everyone everyone's in sub 2 here. You can go to the sub 2 co-living semester, and there's a free calculator in there, right? In that calculator, there's not an insurance exact line, but there's the PITI section, okay? So, you need to know, though, where you're buying, because in some areas, does the insurance change when you buy it as an investor? Yes, it does, okay? But basically, you need to calculate it in that line that says PITI, so that way it includes your taxes and insurance as well. Because you need to know what your monthly payment is, okay? If it's not going to change, then you already have it from the mortgage statement, okay? So you do need to underwrite it there. Any other insurance questions real quick, okay? I know Steadily does, I think, up to 5, unless they've changed it, okay? 5, that we have it, right? Okay. I think, let's see, some commercial ones, I've used a couple. And I'll just be frank, very, very slow, but single source insurance is a commercial. But yes, it can take forever. Stay on. You have to handle it like crazy. It just is what it is. Okay? We are going to come out with, we are in the works of creating our own insurance product. Right now, we would connect you to the right service, okay? But we will have our own product where it's ready to go, right? Because the whole thing, right? We want to make it as quick and seamless for you as possible, okay? So that's insurance. Question back there. I'm gonna have to go louder for me. Why would I not use regular home insurance? Because your use of the property is, you have told your insurance company what you're using it for. So for example, on your primary home, you have told them it's your primary home, and they're insuring that according to that information. When you go get a normal rental, you have to tell them, people, who here has made the mistake and just left it in their primary insurance when you moved out of that house and turned it into a rental? Anybody here? I've done it. Long time ago. Okay? You need to tell them that it's now a rental property. Same thing here. You need to tell them that you're doing a co-living property. Otherwise, they will deny your claim, because they'll come in and say, oh my gosh, you got 8 people living here. This is a boarding house type of situation. Nope, denied. Okay? So unless you have millions and millions of dollars sitting in there, which you shouldn't have regardless of how rich you are, by the way. All right, good question. Any other questions about insurance real quick? Pretty straightforward, right? You just need to be connected with the right information, really. Okay? All right, what's number 4? Okay, renovation, reno, or conversion. Okay. Renovation or conversion. This one's kind of important. Just because, what did you guys learn from my story, right, about my Atlanta house? I have flipped lots of homes in Phoenix. I probably still could have figured out most of it, right, on my own. In fact, for 15 years, I figured things out. I had a lot of those blocks. I could have been so much further along. But you need to know, what are some parts of a renovation that you might need to know? Raise your hand. What are some parts of the renovation? What about, what's that, bathrooms? Okay, so when we call that, let's say layout, we need to know how many bedrooms you can have, how many bathrooms you can have, the flow of the house, right? You're like, that's perfect, let's put a bedroom there. You can't get to the other side now. That's a problem. Okay? Believe it or not, people do that all the time. I will tell you, one of the big issues people make in layout is they forget they need an exterior window. They're like, wow, we got a 2,600 square foot home, and the way it's laid out, there's a garage here and this there, this middle area, bedroom. You have to have an exterior window or door, but it has to go to the exterior. Okay? So you have to get the layout right. Okay? Now, we already talked about renovations on, are you doing a full flip? You should actually have mixed answers for that question. Whether you should be doing a full flip reno or not. Tell me, when should you do a full flip reno on a co-living? Anybody know? Okay? If you're doing a cash deal and you're buying an extremely run-down property, you're going to have to renovate the whole thing, right? But you better be buying it appropriately, right? You better be buying it like a flip. In fact, in our software, when we underwrite co-living deals, I have multiple calculators. In fact, when we choose our exit strategy, because every deal that comes in, what does PACE say? The deal tells you the strategy, right? The exit strategy. So the deal comes in, we have a drop down, and we have to select what we're going to do with the property. One of them is flip/co-living, because if I buy it right on a cash deal, I should be able to do both. And I should have to make a hard decision. Do I want cash now, or do I want a co-living? Okay? So if you're buying a cash deal that you're going to renovate and then refinance later, that is when you would want to do a full renovation. Do you think you might want to put not as nice end finishes in there? Maybe you think more about durability when you're building out a co-living. instead of the shiny object stuff, yeah, you should take all that into account. Okay? Now, if you're buying it creative, should you be renovating the whole thing? No. Why? Because you won't be able to pull your cash out. If you're buying a creative deal, what's the benefit of a creative deal? Your terms, not the price. You're paying maybe lower, maybe even slightly above what it's really worth. Right? Do you want to put even more money than you have to into the property? And then you're going to just be upside down. Right? You want to limit the amount of cash that you're putting into the property when you're buying creative. Right? Now, when I buy creative, I'm not planning on refinancing. Unless I had like a 7-8% rate and I was already doing it and now I'm going to refinance later. But most creative, I'm like, oh, 2, 3, 4%. I'm keeping that sucker in there. Right? Okay. Now, let's go questions on renovations real quick. Right here. Nice and loud. Nice and loud.
Do you make, if you had to change it back to sell it, would you put up walls that are like, would they take it down easily?
Great question. If I wanted to be able to undo my conversion, right? If things don't go right, okay? Now, and this is me answering. Might there be different people that give different responses? Yes. Part of the reason I like renovation rather than new builds is because I can revert back most of the time. However, I've never needed to. I don't plan on ever having to. Because if that property cash flows well enough when I underwrite it, even if it's going slightly wrong, I'm still making money. Okay? I still have other ways to pivot that I would go first. If I did normal co-living, I could change to what? Master lease, right? Nonprofits, or I could do sober living, or I could go assisted living, right? I could do lots of stuff where I could partner with somebody else that is an expert in that area and say, perfect, let's run this, let's split the profit. Okay? But to answer your question, I like the renovation side for a couple reasons. I want deals and I want them fast. I don't want to wait 18 months before I start making money. So now might I start doing some new builds and 2 to 3 at a time or something? Sure, I can do that separately. But I want to be making money quickly, right? 3-4 months down the road. Okay? But depending on my renovations, I can take down a couple walls. And that's it, and I can sell that thing. Okay? So great question. Any other questions on the renovation portion? You guys are experts. I love it. Bill, real quick. We got a mic for you.
What about permitting?
One more time. What about what?
Permits.
Permits. Love it. Hey, do you guys think I get permits on every single one of my houses? No, I don't. I'll go on record. I don't get permits on every one of my houses. Do we get permits on every single house that we do turnkey co-living? Yes, we do. Okay? Because I can, if I get a stop order, or I can deal with consequences. Okay? Because not everyone's going to be in the exact situation that you might be in, right, Bill? And you can be like, cool, if this goes wrong, I can do this. If this goes wrong, Pace is so good at pivoting, right? He could wake up one morning and be like, boom, this is what we're going to do. Pivot. I bet you Sarabi and their whole team can be like, yeah, we pivot. Right? So if you can pivot, that's up to you what you like to do. However, if someone else is in charge and you can't control their situation, right? If you're going to put them possibly in a financial timeline of, ooh, you got a stop order now, we got to work through all this, and what if that takes 3 or 4 more months to work through that? I don't think that's right, and I think you should definitely get a permit. So at turnkeycoliving.com, we permit everything that we do. I also permit garages. If I do a garage or a carport conversion, and my reasoning is I want the square feet added to the property to increase my value. Okay? Because most of the time, it happens with, I do it quite a bit with creative, but if I do it on my cash deals, that dramatically increases my square feet, which helps me on my refinance. Okay? Great question about permits. Back there?
Are there any organizations like, say, a nonprofit organization that you want to, I don't know, it's a little ahead of the question, where you're at with the spot, but as far as the exit strategy, getting tenants from a nonprofit organization, are there any that would deny you for lack of permit? And what do you speak to that?
Okay, I think I heard most of that. It actually is because all the speakers go out there. Okay, so basically, would nonprofits deny me because I didn't get a permit? Most of them, yes. Okay, are going to deny you if you don't get a permit. So if you're wanting to go with a master lease, right, I would definitely get a permit. Also note, when you're talking about renovating, do you think they might want it renovated differently? People here that do this know that a lot of them actually want a family room. And if you're eliminating the family room to get that extra bedroom, you might not be able to do a lot of nonprofits. Now, could you take down a wall or two if you had to pivot? You betcha. Okay? Other things, for example, I know multiple people working with nonprofits that had different houses. They have different requirements. A lot of them want 1 bedroom to 1 bathroom ratio. A lot of the nonprofits want a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay? Does pad split in our company require a 1-to-1 ratio? No. What's pad splits requiring? How many bedrooms can you get per bathroom? 4. Right? So I like 3 is better as well, but 4, you can do a 4-to-1 ratio. If I go renovate 4-to-1, some of my nonprofits, are they going to want to move into my house? Well, I'm probably going to have to change that up. But going back to your question, if I do a 1-to-1 ratio for a whole house, how easy is it for me to pivot back to selling my house? I got plumbing, I got multiple bathrooms, right? Way harder than just a few walls. Okay? Did that answer your question? Perfect. All right, over here.
Do you find yourself having to deal with change of occupancy?
Do I find myself, what about change of occupancy?
Like it's a single family home, right?
Yeah.
You have to do a change of occupancy as you would, for example, a adult foster care home, because it's no longer a single family.
So you're talking about like with the county or
Yeah,
whatever?
correct.
Are you,
Yeah.
So every county is different on how you report that, right? Some of them it's like, hey, this is an investment home, right? Other ones have different characteristics, etc. I recommend just be as truthful and honest as you can on what you're doing with the property. I would always do that, okay? Because trust me, if they end up finding out, one, it doesn't cost that much more with the way they tax you, so just do it correctly, and then they come after you. They'll get their money, okay? Any other questions about renovation and conversion? There's a lot to it. We barely scratched the surface for renovation and conversion, by the way. There's a lot to it, okay? All right, number 5. Property management. Okay. Who here, couple questions. Who here is a property manager? Raise your hand. Cool. Okay, who here manages some of their own property? Okay, I knew that'd be a lot more. Okay. I'm always curious why that is too. Because I used to be guilty and managed a lot of my own properties. Right? Why? Because I just like to do things by myself for 15 years. Right? If you really want to grow, unless it's a business, should you be doing property management yourself? Not in my opinion. Okay? I was doing it myself for a long time. You get capped. You have a better use of your time. You will make more money in the properties that you self-manage, but you're not even coming close to thinking about the things that you could be doing with your time. You could make way more money even just setting appointments, right? on closing and looking for more deals than managing your other property if you traded that time. There is lots, these are all seats. You could do property management. You could be in charge of your reno. Okay? You guys don't want me 100% in charge of your reno, by the way. I have no construction background. Okay? I don't. I remember I had a house in Chandler, Arizona. My wife, we bought this house. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm handy. That's what I told her. I told her, I said, I'm handy, I got this. We ripped up the counters, right? We're changing all this. I'm like, you know what's cool? I saw online concrete countertops. Okay? And I'm like, okay, so I started doing all this research, realized I don't think I can do that. So I call up a friend of mine, and sure enough, we YouTube it and we figured it out and we made concrete countertops. Why did that work? It only worked because my friend was handy, not because of me. Okay? I realized right then that was 2011. I realized that I am not a handy guy. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. But you don't want me actually swinging the hammer. It is what it is. Do I have a good eye when I look at things and know how things should be done and if it was done properly? When I first started flipping, I did not. When I first started flipping, some of the struggle was a contractor told me this is how it was supposed to be done. I'm like, okay. And I had to learn through home inspections. Oh, that was wrong. Right? Let's do that again. So, you want to have the right people doing your renovation and conversion, okay? Like your property management. Any questions on, yes, right here.
So Kyle, I want to know, so there's a standard, or kind of a meter that says you should have about 30 to 35 doors before you hire a property management and multifamily or single family house. So we're not doing that just for that.
So you should have 30 to 35 doors before you hire, you've heard before for
30
someone.
to 35.
Sure.
Grant Cardone teaches that, a couple other stuff.
Yeah.
But what about co-living? Is there any difference to that minimum? Because I don't want to, like, one co-living and then paying 60% on a property management.
Great question. My answer is you should never manage your own property. That is my answer. You should never learn from my mistake. You should never manage your own property if you're taking your business seriously. If you want to have 5 or 6 properties, go ahead, buy them in your own backyard. Just know you just created your own building with a ceiling on top and get nice and cozy because you're not going anywhere. That's as far. Now, could you get a good life? Yeah. 5 or 6 properties, co-living properties, if you're making $1,500 a pop, $1,000, $1,500 a pop, you're like, okay, I got $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 or more a year coming in now off of cash flow. Not too bad. Depends on what you want in life. But personally, I have bigger aspirations for myself. I have bigger aspirations for all of you. You guys have all joined stuff too. You guys want more. I asked you at the beginning, did you want more? And you all said yes. So, how do you get more? Pace is showing you. He's like, this is how you do it. You join a team. Right? You get that energy. And then you figure out what seat you're supposed to sit at. We all want to magnify. We got to think bigger. Right? And Pace, wow. What a man to show you to think bigger. Constantly. Right? I love it. So, when I first built this system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's pretty self-explanatory. I had to spend my time and energy and money to build out all my systems, right? Is there a reason that I'm 20 years in the business? Yeah, because I spent all my time building out systems, right? It took a long time. However, I'm like, perfect, now that I got it built out, I can just buy more and more and more. So I am. I'm still buying more co-livings. Right? So if we get deals here, I'll probably buy some of the co-living deals here. Okay? Now, then I realized I built something cool. if I can put something in, so can anybody else. Right? You can find somebody, whether it be turnkey co-living or not, you can find someone to do your acquisition for you. Okay? In fact, I was talking to a lady here and she goes, hey, I have my crews. I fix and flip. Oh, awesome. Right at the top of the website, right? It says done for you or individual service. For us, I built it that way because deals even for me come in at different points. Right? I might have a property that is not a co-living that I already own, and I just want to switch it over to co-living. So maybe I just have to do 4 and 5 on it. So I send it to my team to renovate, and then I send it to them to manage. Right? And then everybody else can do the same thing. But the lady said, okay, hey, I need help. Send me more deals. Love it. We can all over here, she'll renovate it, and then we'll manage it. So you can pick and choose. Obviously, most people, when I took this idea, I took it as, what's my lane, guys? My lane's co-living. Right? Everybody knows that. Do I own other types of property? Okay? Yeah. I own some multifamily, I own some commercial, I own quite a few different types of property. I fix and flip. Did anybody here know I was a fix and flipper? Okay? Couple people. Why? Because I don't tell you that I'm a fix and flipper. Because I don't need you to know that I'm a fix and flipper. Because I only do that in Phoenix. I do co-living. Okay? And I tell you that because when I'm in my lane, can I go and learn multifamily and all the pieces that become the best at multifamily at the same time as becoming the best in co-living? It's impossible. You all need to have a lane on where you need to be and what you want to do. And know where you're going to be sitting. Okay? So I created this, and I say yes to other deals sometimes, like multifamily, RV parks, other things. Okay? But I don't need everyone to know. If they happen to show up and I say yes to them, great. What about somebody else? Who here is also buying RV parks? Okay? Keep your hand raised if it's your lane. Okay? Should you go and learn and do all of this yourself then, if you want to get a co-living? No. So if you're an RV park investor and you go, I need to focus, I need to build up my RV parks, I want to buy it, does it take a little while? Yes, it does. It takes a long while, right? You got to get your skill up, because there's areas just like this in the RV business that you need to learn, right? You can't learn them both at the same time. Wouldn't it be nice to add a co-living into your deal, into your portfolio every once in a while? An extra $1,000, $1,500 in cash flow? If someone else was managing it, yeah, right? I'm with you, okay? That's why this is here, okay? Because people should have their lanes, okay? What if your lane right now is you want to set appointments? What if you're just starting in real estate, okay? Or you could be in real estate for a long time. Did you know that sometimes people have been in it for a long time and they just want to make more money? So you start setting appointments. Is there anything wrong with that? No. In fact, you'll probably crush it because you're so good. Your time will be so effective on setting those appointments, right? But if this is where you want to sit, should you be wasting your time learning all these other pieces? No. You need to know enough so you can make decisions, but you don't need to know it all, right? So we've designed it to where on turnkeycoliving.com, right? If you scroll to the bottom, you can actually fill out a form and schedule a time with Michael Headroom. Michael Headroom is actually the gentleman over here sitting at the desk right now. Okay? He is the guy that takes all the discovery calls on my team. I brought him here. Who has met Michael while they're here? Amazing. Okay? You should all go meet Michael Headroom. Okay? He is the guy that takes all the discovery calls, finds out. He's going to tell you, based on what you're hoping for, how can we help you? Do we help you just here? Do we help you just here? Or should we do the whole thing? Okay? Tell him, where do you want to buy? Once again, we do it with pad split and everywhere that pad split is. Okay? So we try to make it very, very simple, and that way you can do, like on the graph, you can do it over and over again, right? A few of you have told me, I need 5 more pass splits this year. I need 10 more pass splits this year. Do you think with this type of process, you could get 5 or 10 very quickly and easily? Absolutely. But Kyle, I don't have the money. Who here is thinking that right now? Okay. Who here has also forgotten what Pace has taught you? Keep your hands up, those people that just asked you about money. You learned it now. The money's already here. I already told you, you should be having private money lenders and partners lists. You should be going around telling everybody, I am buying co-living. I am looking for people that want to get in with me that have some money. Do you know anybody? And you should be adding those people, reaching out to them, building connections. And build that list up. Reach back out and connect with them. See them at the different events. Don't be lazy and sit at home. 15 years I was all by myself, my head down, working hard. Pace lives 20 minutes from me. I did not know who Pace was before I joined Sub 2. I had been in real estate for a very long time, 20 minutes away. I didn't even know he existed. There's a lot of other big players in there in Phoenix. I didn't know who they were because my head was down. My dad, I was an introvert. Anybody else here? Is anybody here an introvert? Okay? And I like to say it like this, but I was a real pretty wallflower. Okay? I would go to certain events and I would be stuck to the wall, you know? That high school dance. I was way over there. Okay? But I had my good friends. But I learned that I had to change. I decided, you don't have to, but I had to change that about myself. Okay? But my dad is not just an introvert, my dad is antisocial. Okay? So you can see why I was an introvert. Right? Like, don't you dare make a noise, bring attention to us. Right? And he's a very nice guy. But we do Sunday dinners at my parents' house every Sunday. Okay? We all live really close, there's 4 of us, we all have kids. And our kids are best friends. Okay? It's really cool. But my dad, we're there for about 3 hours, and he has to check out into his room about 3 to 4 times. He loves everybody. It's just overstimulated. He doesn't need that many people around him, especially all the little ones running around, right? But he loves them, he's good with kids, but he gets overstimulated. And that was the type of person, right, I grew up with. So, of course, yeah, I was an introvert, right? I had to change that. You guys need to reach out and connect with other people. Okay, there is massive power. Leverage other people. You will accomplish so much more. Okay? Okay, any questions? Any questions about any of the 5 pieces? Let's get a microphone back here. Oh, yeah. It's coming.
For property management companies, what are their goals? Besides just managing the trades, what else do they hold them responsible for? Is there any overlap between the other typical responsibilities and those with bad split? And then, as far as saying, hey, pass-through individuals, can we get a discount because you don't have to do as much like the rest, or something like that?
Okay, so what are kind of the responsibilities on the management side and how it's divvied up and that type of stuff, right?
And how can they do that on a national level to manage what the trade is doing in Bravo, in a bathroom somewhere, you take away, or you pick only local property?
Say the last part one more time.
Is it okay to pick a property management company that's nationally based, or is it better to go local?
Great question. Okay, let's answer that part first. You need to have somebody, if you go national, they better have a team there local. Okay? Like none of this like, hey, we don't have anybody there. Does that make sense? Just like, oh no, guys, I know it's 2026, AI. We use a lot of AI in our systems, right? We have our deal flow CRM, and we have people that want properties, and the moment it matches, AI goes and finds it and lets us know immediately when there's a match. Okay? We use AI like crazy. However, you need real people, right? there in the location. Okay? So I wouldn't say that you can't go with a national chain. I would say you just have to, you need to know enough to ask the right questions and say, do you have people actually there, right, that can manage it? Because when there's a problem, you need somebody to really show up and to be able to show up quickly. Has anybody here had a problem where they had a property manager and they couldn't get there and show up? Okay? Multiple people. It's a real thing. Okay? So, I think that answers that question. Okay? Now, our property management, we leverage passport. Okay? And I'll tell you how I got there. I have co-livings that are pass-split and non-pass-split. Okay? I started with pass-split. I put several on the platform. I was like, cool, let's go do this. And then I'm like, I don't know if I need pass-split. Anybody else sometimes have that thought? Okay? And so I have co-livings that don't have pass-split. And in some cases, it has gone extremely well. And I'm like, amazing. I filled it all up. I didn't have pass-split fee on there. That's okay. And I'm making really good money. Even more. Guess what also has happened? We have done it without them. And we're like, why is this not filling up? We're doing the same thing. And then we either pivot right back over to pass-split, and they fill it up immediately. Okay? So, there's a massive pro-con there. And if you don't use pass-split, in my opinion, you better know that you can weather the storm. Okay? Because you're trying to get that filled and actually make money. And sorry, who here has a co-living and it wasn't quite filled? You've had some months where it's not filled and it wasn't making money. Raise your hand. Okay? It's real, happens, right? You gotta get that filled. So the quickest way to fill it, in my opinion, is pass-split. Every single time, my personal expectation, when I didn't use pass-split, I was like, I better add an extra 2 months just to get it to the same level that pass-split would have got it to 2 months faster. Yes?
So is it a guarantee that pass-split will fill?
Is it a guarantee that pass-split will keep it filled? The answer is no. Okay? There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life, period, right? Really. Even someone that gives you a guarantee, the moment they don't fulfill it, you're just going to what? Go sue them and try to get them to guarantee it? Okay? No, honestly, they get paid based on percentage, right? So based on how well the job they do, they're going to get paid on that. Okay? Great questions. All right, what? Right up. Oh, she has the mic for you.
Hey, thank you. What about getting one of those home warranties on your house to cover the different elements?
Yeah, so what if I had a home warranty, or would I do a home warranty?
Yeah.
Okay, I've used home warranties and I've not used home warranties in the past. Years ago, I bought home warranties. I would do it with long-term tenants, and I would build it into the lease that they were responsible for the first $100 of any repair. And the $100 was the amount, the copay for the home warranty, right? I'm like, don't even call me. I'm like, go call the home warranty company, okay? So some people do that. However, if you have a good property management company, right? And even more important, you better have good renovation and conversion. Do you think that there is a benefit for these two sections to be talking? You betcha, right? When people do their own renovations, my face goes like this sometimes. Because I don't know how the property's gonna be, right? When we take over and try to manage it. Did they renovate the piece that I know is probably gonna break because they walked there over and over and over? Right? So, does that kind of make sense?
Thank you.
You bet. Perfect. Yes, question over here. Hold on. She's bringing the mic to you.
No, I was just wondering, why isn't the sub-2 community as a whole build something to go against pass-split?
Why doesn't sub-2 as a whole build something to go against pass-split? Well, okay, interesting question. Trey, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Okay, interesting question. Pace answered this, in my opinion, very clearly and very easily. It was at one of the squat up summits, and Pace was talking about, you got somebody going down the line with a machete. Anybody remember this? And they're cutting the pathway. And you all had to start way back here. And you're all trying to get down there. I look over, and you see somebody else over here doing the same thing. Maybe they're doing something else, like RV parks, etc. I'm over here doing it for co-living. Pascal's over here doing it for co-living. In fact, for me, I'm like, hey, Pascal, here's your machete. How about you stand right next to me, and let's both cut this lane, right? Now, if I see Pascal over here cutting this lane, should I start back here and start cutting my own lane? Or should I come up here and be able to stroll all the way down the lane? Right? Pace talked about this very heavily, right? We talked about the RV parks, right? Or whatever other channel. In fact, if I'm going to cut anywhere, I should be cutting across, right? And going and connecting with each other. I shouldn't be going all the way back and building my own lane. So, in my opinion, you can build all sorts of stuff, but what I want to do is, I think we should all be inspired. Let's build beyond. Let's build beyond what's already there. If I hear someone's building something, I'm all right. If I want to go flip homes in Houston, right? I'm talking to my man Substitute Drew right here, and we'll go work together, right? I'm networking, and I'm like, where are people? What do I want to do? I'm going to network with people. I'm not going to go and try to start my own fix and flip business in Houston. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, we should be building things. We should just be building beyond, right? Talk to Pascal, talk to whoever, and be like, you know what about this? What about that? Go off and build something that maybe, what if you went off and built something that was extremely useful in Pascal? That might be cool. Good question. Any other questions? Okay? We're gonna have to, hold on. I'm at louder. One of the most co-living friendly cities. Okay? The easiest part here is, if Passport's there, you can go look at their market insights. You have all the data you need. Okay? Just go create a host account with PadSplit. Go to the market insights. PadSplit shared this already, right? And you can go see, boom, is PadSplit there? Are they not there? Go look at how, you guys all remember that? You can see how many units are there. If there's a lot of units, do you think it's very in line with PadSplit, with co-living? I would agree, right? If you see 4 units, are you taking more of a risk? Absolutely. Everybody is when you do that. I have a house coming online in Albuquerque. Do I own any other houses in Albuquerque? No? No, I don't, right? Okay, Aaron does this, right? Do things move slower when I only have one house? Yeah, I have way other bigger things to pay more attention to, right? So, but I think Albuquerque needs it. And so this to me is a test house. And I want to see if that's going to work, see how well it feels, and then I'll put more out there. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, awesome. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. If you guys have any other questions, ask me, ask Michael Hedblum, right? I just really hope that you can take out of everything where you want to be. Ask yourself, do I want to be part of acquisitions? I'm assuming most of you want something to do with co-living. Find out if you should be in the acquisition, do you want to be a TC for it, etc. Become really good at where you want to be. Plug in to teams, and then leverage other people. Perfect. All right, thank you guys.